What's up everyone, my name is Kabir Ali and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about handwritten versus typed notes. Which one's better, what are the pros and cons of each, and what really is the best method of taking notes. I have some timestamps listed right here and also down in the description so you can skip around to whatever part of the video you're most interested in. Let's quickly go through the pros of taking notes by hand. First up is comprehension. Everybody knows that when you're taking notes by hand, you're going to remember the stuff better just because you're taking more time and you're only writing the things that are really important. Also, writing by hand activates certain parts of the brain that aid in memory retention. Second of all, writing by hand just feels really nice. Having that pencil on the paper and being able to use different colors, highlighters, and just make your notes look really pretty, that's just such an amazing experience. So that's another pro for handwritten notes. This seems great, but there are some cons to handwritten notes. For example, you're not able to write as fast as you can type, so you can get more information down if you're typing. That leads us nicely into the pros of taking typed notes. They're much faster, they're easier to keep organized, and you can find anything just by doing Control F and looking for a keyword. At this point, some of you might be thinking about iPad notes. Aren't they the perfect middle ground between the tactile feel and the digital ease of use? Well, in my experience, I found that taking notes on iPad is better than taking them by hand on paper or by just typing them normally, but it's still not the most effective way to take notes. Let me explain. Alright, so here's an empty Notion page. Let's title it Notes. Under this, we can start typing. So we can type different text and we can do whatever we want to do with that. But for this specific note-taking method, we're going to be using a toggle list. So how you can create that is go into the plus button here, scroll down to toggle list, and click that. That's going to create a toggle. So what you can do is have some kind of text, open up the toggle, and then nest different text inside of the toggle. So this is nested text. And then now you can close the toggle and the text goes away. So you can open it and close it at will. Now what we'll do is get rid of this, and let me just quickly show you guys the keyboard shortcut for this so you don't have to keep clicking the plus button. So if you just tap down here and do Command or Control Shift 7, and that's going to automatically open a toggle list. So, productivity master, you got to be using the keyboard shortcuts. Alright, so what we're going to do here, now that we have our toggle list, is we're going to open up whatever we're looking at or taking notes on. So let's say I'm looking at Khan Academy. Open up a Khan Academy video on the side, and now you can see the videos right here. I can play it, and whatever he's talking about, I can just take notes on that. So what we're going to do here is if we have a question on what he's talking about. So let's say he's talking about this covalent bonds right now. If we have a question, so we can just, let's keep it simple. What is a covalent bond? And then now you can hit this down here and open up the toggle, and then if you find the answer in this video, then you're just going to type it here. So you type the answer right down there, and then if you don't find the answer in this video, what you can do is you can just go and search that online, and then once you find the answer, you can put it into there. And then now you're going to close back up. So you close that toggle and then create the next one. So now he'll keep going and whatever he's discussing, and let's say we want to know how many valence electrons does chlorine have? So now we're asking this question, and if we find the answer in this video, which he does have it, he explains that there are 7, then we're going to type 7 right here. So then now we know that chlorine has 7 valence electrons. So we're going to close this back up, and basically you continue to repeat this process, so you keep going until you're done with the lecture or video or wherever you're studying. Okay, so now that we've taken the notes with this, we're going to go back and actually study the notes. This is where this note-taking method really shines. So the way we're going to study is we're going to go back, make sure we close up all these toggles, and then we're going to look at the question. So what is a covalent bond? Now if I think I know the answer, I'm going to think in my head, what is the answer? Okay, now I have it. I'm going to open up the toggle. What is the answer? If I was correct, then I'm going to highlight this and change the color. So if I go down here, I can tap color, and we'll make it orange. So now this is orange, which means that I got the answer one time. So now I'll go through all these different questions I have, and once I finish this, then we'll see. If I don't get it, I'll leave it white. If I did get it, I'll make it orange. So let's say this one, I got it also, and we'll make it orange. Now, the next day, I'm going to come back through here, and we're going to go through all these questions. And now if I get it right the next day, then this is going to go to the next color, which is yellow. So now it's a little bit better, like it's getting closer to the green. Green is where we want to get to. So we're getting closer to green. So now we're at yellow. And now the next study session, it could be the next day or it could be like a few hours later. You come back and you go back through all these questions and you're going to see, okay, so how many valence electrons does chlorine have? I think it has 7. So I'll open it up. Okay, so I was correct here. I can now make this one yellow as well. Oh. So then now I'd go through basically every single time that I go through this and I'd change the color. So I keep going until the last session where I'm going through changing the color and it's going to get to green. Now once it gets to green, then I know this is something that I really understand and it's almost mastered, right? Like I've almost got this. I've gotten it multiple times to answer the question correctly. Obviously, I only have 2 questions here, but you're going to have a lot more questions than this. And so once you get something to green, that means you have it close to being mastered. Now, after everything is green, you're going to want to wait for like another few days, maybe even a week. And now you're going to come back with everything green. So let me change this one to green too. So you're going to come back and everything's going to be green. And then you're going to see if you still remember the answer. So if I remember, this is 7. Okay, got it. So now I'll come back through, highlight this one more time, and change the color to blue, which is mastered. So if something is blue, it is 100% mastered. You know this. So now, let's see. I see this one. Oh, what is a covalent bond? Check the answer. Oh, I was wrong. Okay, so now I don't move this one. This one actually goes from green. It doesn't move from to blue. Instead, it's going to go backward to yellow. So I still don't get this one, right? So now I'd come back through, and eventually, if you get one wrong, then it goes back a color, and if you get one right, it's going to go up a color. And eventually, after you repeat this a bunch of times, you're going to get to the state where everything is blue, which means you've mastered that topic and you can move on. Alright guys, so I've decided to end that video there, and then I'm going to split this up into a 2-part series. So if you want to check out part 2, I'm going to leave that right here when I have that finished. That's going to be about spaced repetition, so essentially how to study this note-taking method. So if you've watched this video, if you enjoyed it, please be sure to check that out. And also like and subscribe so you can stay up to date with the newest content and just help support my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the mix.